What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Uber to the Pits podcast. This week it's a little unusual. I'm actually in the car on the road driving to Colorado to do some work, and then so I figured I had some downtime to put together a show. I wanted to do a show today based on why I do the podcast and a combination of what my helmet design means to me. So I'll start off with why I'm doing the podcast. I decided to do the podcast because I wanted to get back into racing. I wanted to get back in the car, and I wanted to try to find a way to build sponsorships by using social media, podcast, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. Because during the height of the sponsorship days and the height of racing in the 80s and 90s, you got sponsorship because you were on TV. You're on the ABC Wide World of Sports. You're on ESPN. You had your own cable channel called Speed Vision, which later became Speed, which later became Fox Sports 2 because Fox was stupid and got rid of Speed Vision. So you're stupid, Fox. So I wanted to use this as a platform to be a guinea pig to see if I could make this work. And then my goal is to then go to younger drivers that may need to, maybe they don't have the financial capabilities of paying their full ride and need some assistance. So I want to prove to them that this method can work, and then pass it along to them, work with them, mentor them in this process to make it work for them. So that is my ultimate goal, is to get myself racing and to pass it along to younger drivers and be able to share the passion of racing. Why racing for me? Well, let's start with back in 1992, 93, I was clinically diagnosed as being a clinical depressive, or having clinical depression. So it was hard for me to find things that would really keep me positively focused. I always had triggers of I wasn't doing something right, or I was disappointing my parents, which there was probably things that I was doing, but my parents are so absolutely 100% cool about stuff. They're every lockstep, every time I needed them. But it was just the internal demons I'm dealing with. Then I found, wakeboarding, motorcycles, and racing. Individual/team sports. But I liked having the adrenaline race. I liked my adrenaline at high peaks. I focus more. I'm calmer. I'm more attentive being that way. So that's why I like doing stupid shit when I was a kid. Jumping off roofs, jumping my bicycle, skateboarding, rollerblading, wakeboarding, snowboarding, anything I do to build up my adrenaline, I would do it. So then when I moved back to California in the early 2000s, started racing with my uncle. That led into some other seat time in other cars, other racing. And there's just something about it, something that would allow me to just be calm, be me. And it felt so right. So I gotta get back into racing. It's just that passion. I love it. Need to do it. So that is the goal of Uber to the Pits podcast. I called it Uber to the Pits because 2018 I started driving Uber part-time. 2019, when I started the podcast, I was doing it full-time and doing the podcast, trying to build that up, build the listenership, so that way I can go to companies and say, hey, look, we have all these different methods of adding in advertising now besides just putting it on the side of the car and relying on TV money. Let's put a program together. Let's go racing. So that is my ultimate goal, and I will be achieving that. I promise you that. So let's go on to number 2, the helmet design. Yes, this is going to be a short episode. I don't want to bore you Right now I'm in Arizona. I've started today, California, driving to Colorado for work, like I said. So last week I posted a picture of my helmet design. The maize, the blue, the neon pink. So let's talk helmet designs a little bit. Growing up, I was a huge motocross fan. I'd always watch Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emig, Ricky Carmichael. Even before that, I had Damon Bradshaw, Jeff Ward. These guys always had helmet painting, and I always thought it was so cool. So when I got my first street bike, I think I was 16, 17 years old, I had a plain white helmet. I wanted to get it painted. Well, when I found out how much it cost to get a helmet painted in the 90s, 16 years old, I was like, yeah, I can't do that. But they had, Troy Lee Designs had released these little sticker kits that made it appear that your helmet was painted by Troy Lee Design. So I got one of those. It was the bubble kit. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So did that, and then, I did have some other helmets painted over the years. They've either been destroyed, lost, or stolen. I do have a couple of my old helmets left. I'll post pictures of those as well. So now that things are progressing for me to get back into the car, it's time to start restocking on gear. So I went to my good buddies over at Stilo USA. Jay Braxton, this is you, past guest on the show as well. Ordered my Stilo helmet, and it is being shipped off to Troy Lee Designs. Troy Lee Designs is a world-renowned helmet painter. Painted everybody, like I said, Jeff Emig, Ricky Carmichael, Showtime, Jeremy McGrath, and my buddy Ernie, past guest as well. It's like, hey, I'm friends with Troy Lee. Let's go get your helmet painted. Let's get my helmet painted as well. He got a new helmet, so we had to drop his off as well. And so here I am walking into Troy's shop, dropping off my design, talking to them. And it's just one of those cool holy shit factors. This is actually happening. So we're going to do a whole behind the scenes thing. I'll be posting pictures of different steps, different things, and then put it into a full YouTube video once it's complete. But let's go to my design. So my design is personal to me. A lot of helmet designs, they will go to either designed to be for a sponsor, a team owner, whatever it is, or a lot of people have their personal designs and touch base on it. Like, you have the Ayrton Senna Brazilian flag, you have the Niki Lauda red helmet, the James Hunt, flag with James Hunt in there, the Michael Schumacher. His helmet pretty much stayed the same throughout his career. Same thing with Vettel and Alonso with the blue and yellow, to represent his Aryan Spig. So, excuse me. So everybody's helmet kind of almost has a personal touch to them. Alright, now that I'm done rambling about getting to the design, this is what my design is about. One, I'm a product of the 80s. So I had to have bright colors. I love bright colors. I don't care what you think. I will be the first person to rock a pink shirt, pink socks, Dayglow board shorts. I don't care. I like the colors. I'm going to rock it. So I have that blue and pink touch on my helmet, and then the part that really gets to me is I wanted to have a maze on my helmet. Like I mentioned earlier, I suffer from clinical depression, and I've definitely hit roadblocks in my life. There's different points of my life where I wanted to end it. I felt like I was a burden on everybody in my life. I felt like everybody would be happier, less stressful not having me around. Yes, those are real thoughts. Yes, I still deal with it, but I find positive outlets to work on it. Even though sometimes it does rear its head, which it has this year. So the maze represents my challenges and my dealing with living with depression. So my life's been a maze. I hit the roadblocks. I have to find a different route, work my way through, hit a different roadblock. So that is pretty much my design in a nutshell. Bright colors, maze to me significantly means my life path, hitting the different roadblocks and so forth. So again, I got to thank a couple people. Kevin Rossi, thank you for putting my design out of my head onto paper. Jay Braxton at Stilo for getting me set up with my helmet. Ernie Becker for getting me set up at Chorley Designs, and the guys at Chorley Design. So hopefully my goal is to be sharing more news about the helmet later. I also want to try to get Chorley on here to talk about more helmet painting and what really the significance is. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful, amazing, kick-ass weekend, and we'll see you next week.